Coming up on this week's edition of the News at Rider, Rider basketball rallies in preparation for the MAC Championship Tournament.
And the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, visits Trenton for the first time.
Stay tuned, the News at Rider is just getting started.
United States House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, currently the most powerful woman in American politics, was in Trenton this past Friday at a press conference with New Jersey political officials. Nicholas Balsi managed to speak with the Speaker after the event.
Our focus at Isles is on self-reliance.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, joined by Congressman Rush Holt, Trenton Mayor Doug Palmer, and Congressman Frank Pallone, stressed the need to create green jobs that will strengthen the economy and combat global warming. While at the Isles Institute, which prepares young adults for green jobs through education and training, Pelosi said the U.S. must invest in their young people because they're the future.
If you want to predict the future, politicians are always trying to predict the future. If you want to predict the future, you must invent it. And that is what you young people are doing right now. You are inventing something very new. You are getting a training that kids didn't get just a few years ago, to create the jobs of the future, jobs that are about our national security because they make us energy independent of foreign oil. They're about the health, as the mayor referenced, of our communities because they make us more environmentally sound.
After a question from a member of the press, Pelosi gave examples of all the things America could have done for youth with the money they have spent in Iraq. Only 2 other questions were granted to the press, and one of them was mine.
Your calculations are on point about all the things that the United States could have spent instead of going to war in Iraq. But how come the U.S. Congress, under the leadership of the Democrats, hasn't exercised the power of the purse and pulled the funding and said, you know what, we're not going to continue in this war?
Well, we have in the House over and over again in the past year, and tried to even before we were in power, but speaking to now that we are, sent bills to the United States Senate over and over again that said that we're certainly not going to leave our troops stranded. But what we're saying is the purpose of the funding should be for the redeployment of our troops out of Iraq in a manner that is responsible, safe, and honorable, and it has to be completed within 1 year.
After the press conference, I caught up with the Speaker and asked her about how the Democrats plan to raise their approval rating above President Bush's, which is locked at around 30%.
Well, Congress has never been a popular body, but I'm very pleased at the ratings that the Democrats are getting in Congress on almost every issue that you can name, whether it's health care, creation of jobs, dealing with taxes, the war in Iraq, the environment, certainly, did I say health care? Any issue you can name, the Democrats are double-digit ahead of the Republicans. In terms of the environment, over 40 points ahead of the Republicans. So that's the number I look at. How is the public viewing the Democrats in Congress?
In Trenton, New Jersey, I'm Nicholas Balsi.
These are all issues that...
For more information on the Isles Institute, you can visit their website at www.isles.com.
And now to a local political topic. Gina Grasso attended the weekly Student Senate session this past Tuesday, witnessing firsthand how hard the representatives of the student body work to have their voices heard.
Topics of conversation range from the road conditions, the housing situation, to advertising the MAC tournament. SGA's Vice President, Brian Puelko, announced that tickets were going fast to Albany, but there were still some available for $5 in both the ticket booth and also the office in the alumni gym. One main concern that took the floor was based upon the road conditions behind the Bart Luedeke Center and the Greek houses.
With the parking situation, we're actually thinking about paving the roads behind the BLC because they're in tremendously bad conditions, especially the ones with the fraternities and sororities back there. They're just potholes everywhere, and it's just not good for the cars.
One student proclaimed that he did not understand why the faculty's parking lot had already been paved. He said students should be the university's first priority.
We really want it to be presentable. That's, our basic problem.
SGA is also looking into helping the students academically.
but they're really working hard to include everybody so that everybody could have a good advisor and, actually get information.
The meeting ended with students stating their concerns about printers being available for students to print, the televisions and dailies constantly being on, and the mail services. This has been Gina Grasso reporting for Channel 20 News at Rider.
Students who have concerns regarding on-campus issues can contact SGA's Vice President, Brian Powelko.
The 98th Annual Academy Awards took place Sunday, February 24th. The Gay Straight Alliance was holding a party celebrating the event. Sean Rainey was in attendance.
Gay Straight Alliance held an Oscar party in the SRC lobby to see which actors and actresses would take home an Oscar. I found out the reason for having an Oscar party.
Well, Oscars are a pretty big deal, especially within the gay community. But yeah, it's a good chance for us all to get together, see the movies, have a good sort of, have some fun with the group.
To make the Oscar party possible, a lot of planning must be done weeks in advance.
Well, we had to, get all the food together. We got the people from Airmark to get us some food, got some pizzas, get the SRC booked, drinks and everything.
I found out why students got involved with GSA.
It's my senior year, and I just joined GSA because all my friends are in it. I've been friends with everyone in it since it started. I was very good friends with George McGowan, who's one of the first people from it, and the variety show that they have raises money for him.
GSA was happy with the event and the turnout it received from students.
It's been a lot of fun. The turnout was pretty good. We've just enjoyed watching it with your friends instead of watching it alone. So.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Usually we get a pretty decent-sized crowd, not as much as we would like, but usually we go for like 20 people, that sort of thing.
This has been Sean Rainey, Channel 20, News at Rider.
Be on the lookout for flyers about GSA variety show that will take place at some time near the end of the semester.
Turning our attention towards the sports side of student-run organizations, it's far from uncommon for students here at Rider to decide to start their own clubs on campus. Recently, the idea of having a rugby club was brought up by some students, and Nicole Lawrence had the chance to talk to the individuals leading the way for this new and exciting club.
Rugby is a game that is almost 200 years old and is played in over 120 countries worldwide. In rugby, players on two teams carry, kick, pass, and ground the ball, and the goal is to score a try, which means that the player places the ball in the opponent's in-goal area. Here at Rider, a group of students are attempting to create a rugby club. I got the opportunity to talk to the student in charge of creating the club, as well as a future member of the club.
Well, basically, we don't have a football team, and I feel the next best thing is would be the rugby. Starting a rugby club, because a lot of the fundamentals of football are derived from rugby. And the second thing is that it's more a feasible approach because most of the universities, local universities around Rider University, all have a men's club rugby team. So I feel that it's appropriate, and also I think it's a great way to spread university spirit.
Rugby is a contact sport similar to football. You have offense and defense. And the major differences from rugby and football are rugby, you pass backwards to your teammate to move the ball forward to get a touchdown.
Anybody that's interested in starting a club, what they would have to do is they would have to come up with a constitution, and then they would have to work with, especially if it's a club sport, with Diana Claus, or go to Megan Colleen, who's in charge of clubs and orgs, and then sit down and then go over the Constitution. And it's basically a 4-week process of starting the club. And so eventually you would go, the person that the club would, that's interested in being recognized would go before the Senate and would present their case, and then the Senate would vote on if they want to approve it or not.
For more information about the rugby club or to get involved, you can contact Mitch Bonpastor. This has been Nicole Lawrence for Channel 20 News at Rider.
The News at Rider will be sure to keep you posted on the status of the rugby team as well as any other new and exciting clubs that may be introduced.
And here's something that affects nearly every sport at Rider. Did you know that Rider University is one of just 2 Division I schools that does not have an artificial turf field? Gina Grasso listened in on the Student Senate meeting to dig deeper into the story.
New turf fields seem to be more beneficial to universities and D1 sports than grass fields.
Our home games that we do have, we have to cancel because we don't have a field that can actually hold the amount of people that we have coming to these games, and also the field conditions as well.
A new field will not only be beneficial to Rider's D1 sports, but will also become an important factor to its club and intramural sports.
It would definitely allow us to practice more during the winter because we'd be allowed to go outside. Right now we're not allowed on the fields, so we're kind of limited with space.
Yes, in the SRC during the winter and the bad weather we have, it's really hard since it's cramped in small spaces to fit a team of 25 to 30 teammates in here throwing around and get our activities and drills going. I believe it would help us tremendously to have a larger facilities, and a turf field would greatly help.
The backfields are known for flooding, making it difficult for teams to practice during the rainy months. A turf field would help alleviate this problem.
Right now we practice indoors when it's cold outside, and when it gets warmer we practice outdoors in the backfields, which are always swampy, they're always wet, and having a turf field will definitely increase the amount of time we have to play outside, and we can hone in our skills, our passing skills, and be outside a lot quicker.
Although the new field will be beneficial, students worry how the outside community would respond. The Associate Vice President for Auxiliary Services and Facilities and Planning, Mike Recca, explained to the Student Senate that the university is taking all necessary precautions to ensure that these problems do not arise. Recca also explained that if plans passed for the construction of a turf field, there would be approximately 8 months of building, which would not interfere with any season. This has been Gina Grasso reporting for Channel 20 News at Rider.
Any and all concerns, comments, or suggestions regarding the idea of turf field here at Rider can be directed towards the Student Senate.
With the MAC championships this weekend, the SRC held a pep rally for the men's and women's basketball teams. Sean Rainey was there to cover the event.
Students filled the SRC atrium on Tuesday evening to cheer on the men's and women's basketball teams, a chance to win raffle prizes, and to get autographs from their favorite players. Students had various reasons for coming out to the rally.
I just wanted to support both the teams. I'm pretty sure they're both going to do fairly well at the tournaments, and I wanted to get some autographs because I know at least one of them is going pro eventually, so I'm pretty excited about that.
I like watching the basketball game. I come to all the games. I see good players. It's a good activity to go to. You get autographs.
With this weekend's games in Albany, New York, that is not stopping fans from attending the games.
I'm going up on Saturday and Sunday so far, and maybe if they advance to the championship on Monday, I'll buy a ticket for them too. So.
I hope so. I work, but I'm trying to get off, hopefully support them like I have been all season.
The women's team may be the 10th seed in this weekend's tournament, but that is not a reason to overlook them.
Yes, we're really excited because it's been a long time since Rider women's basketball team won a first-round MAC tournament game, so we're just ready to go down there and play. And all this excitement during the pep rally and everything is just getting us more fired up.
The men's team has won the MAC for a 3rd time in 7 years, and only a championship in Albany will make the season a success.
We get to the championship, take it from there, and definitely, go as hard as we possibly can, while we up there and just win the championship, the final game.
Both teams have thought the support of the fans has been great throughout the entire season.
Oh, it was great all year. From the season opener, it's been a lot of support. Packed houses, like the last half of the season, been full house. As far as fans and boosters, everyone's been there, so it's been a great fan support.
Last year, we didn't have much support. The men's team had this support, but this year, it's been pretty equal. We had sold-out games, packed-out games, just like the men's team, so I can't complain.
The men's team is looking forward to the fan support they will receive in Albany.
Oh, that's even better. It's the best time to have the fans with you right here. On the away court and on the opponent's court, we definitely need them.
From the SRC, this has been Sean Rainey, Channel 20, News at Rider.
Students can attend the MAC championship games in Albany by signing up in the athletics department for a bus ride and game ticket. The cost for both the bus and the ticket is just $5.
Many students on campus decided to better their resident community as well as their income by becoming resident advisors. Sean Rainey sat down with some RAs to get a better understanding of this job.
RAs are found in all the residence halls here on campus. These students say there are many reasons why a person should consider becoming an RA.
you meet a whole lot of new people. I mean, when I was a freshman, I really didn't know anyone. I was pretty reclusive. But once I became an RA, I met so many people. I met my best friend at Rider, who's also an RA now.
I became an RA for a couple of reasons. The biggest reason was the fact that I wanted to help people, I guess was the biggest reason I wanted to do it. The benefits were there, though, also. Obviously, there was the amount of monetary compensation. It was about $200 every 2 weeks, give or take. Taxes, maybe a little less. It was also, you did get a room to yourself.
While there are many advantages to becoming an RA, there are also many disadvantages.
I mean, no one likes getting people in trouble. So, like, some people tend to look at you like, oh, you're the RA, you know, you wrote me up, you must hate me. And, you know, it's not about you hating them or anything. It's just you're doing your job and you're just enforcing university policy.
The RA job requires you to be an administrator as well as a student among your peers, and that's a difficult thing to do. Also, the fact that, you know, there are responsibilities, duty, where you're stuck in the building for some of the night.
This has been Sean Rainey, Channel 20, News at Rider.
Students interested in becoming an RA should contact Jamil Mosley at extension 7305.
For my story this week, I decided to delve deep into the housing issue and find out exactly how much change students can expect to see upon signing up for rooms later this semester. It isn't new news for Rider students that the housing situation for fall 2008 is going to be very different. Associate Director of Housing, Stephanie Pollock, filled us in.
A lot of anxiety for students, unfortunately, but we've been doing projections since October and have come to the point where we know we're going to have too many students who want a room, then we will have room available. So our first decision was to guarantee housing to new freshmen and rising sophomores, current freshmen, and then limit housing to rising juniors and seniors, which would mean that some of those juniors and seniors would not get a room. We were concerned because this year's senior class was told when they were recruited that they would be guaranteed 4 years of housing. Well, Rider's situation changed, and that is beyond our control. So after some, soul searching, we said, well, is there something we can do to get everybody on campus?
Stephanie told us about Rider's plans to provide housing for as many students as possible.
We immediately looked at the pods in front of Hill and Ziegler, and I don't know if you've ever been in one of those, but the front room, there's two front rooms, and there's one front room that's a very distinct L shape that's very, very large, and we know we can make that a triple. So that's what we're doing in every single pod. So that's going to give us 12 additional beds. In the meantime, we're looking at lots of other locations like that it will be tight, but we could add an extra person.
For the first time, prospective students will be getting a different response to their housing questions.
We are telling them that housing is not guaranteed beyond your sophomore year. Now, next year, 09, when we have the new residence hall built, that will give us 152 beds, but we still think we're going to be tight. The demand is still going to be increasing.
Students seem to have mixed opinions about the housing situation, but most were negative.
I live off campus in an apartment about 5 minutes away, and it affects me because I'm automatically waitlisted for housing next year. There's basically no guarantee that I can get it. I'm supposed to wait till about 2 weeks till the semester starts, so if I can even get housing.
Well, I'm going to be an RA again next year, and for me, I get to stay on campus, but I know a lot about it, and I feel bad for a lot of the students who don't really have a place to go or not really sure where they're going to be. They remove squatter rights, so you never know what you're going to get going into the next year. It's different, but it sounds like mostly everyone's going to be able to stay on campus. Yeah, it stinks that it may take a while to really know what's going to happen, but I think overall it's all going to work out.
It's a joke, it really is. I came here thinking I'd have 4 years of housing. Now that I don't, it kind of puts me in a bad spot because I pay through college with student loans, and that student loans don't cover off-campus housing. So it's either on campus or I'm not going to be at Rider next year.
Stephanie wanted to pass along some advice to students returning to campus next year.
Get your deposit by March 14th, because if you do not do that, you will definitely be waitlisted.
For the News at Rider, this has been Kelly Dixon. Students can contact Stephanie Pollock directly at extension 7304 on campus, visiting the Residence Life area in the rear of the Student Center, or by directing an email to pollock@rider.edu.
The 16th annual Levine Lecture Series took place on Monday, March 3rd in Swaggart Auditorium. Sean Rainey has more.
Dr. Stephen Mihm of the University of Georgia was a guest speaker at this year's History Levine Lecture Series. Dr. Mihm is the author of A Nation of Counterfeiters, Capitalists, Conmen, and the Making of the United States. Dr. Mihm talked about the early counterfeiting that took place prior to the Civil War.
Most of the money that originated and circulated in the United States between the American Revolution and the Civil War came from a very different source, not the Federal Reserve, but from rather shaky state-chartered banks. The Merchants Bank of New York would be founded by a bunch of guys, essentially capitalists, who would gather together, go to the state legislature in New York and say, listen, we want to start a bank, and we want as part of this bank to have the right to issue money. We get to make the designs, the size, the denominations, and the amount we issue. That's all going to be up to us. And if anyone wants to find out if this money is real and worth what we say it is, they can bring it to the counters of our bank and get, quote, real money for it. And real money meant one thing at this time, and gold and silver coin, what was called specie.
After the lecture, Dr. Mihm talked about how he became a historian on counterfeiting.
It was beginning in early historical research I was doing in graduate school when I stumbled across the fact that actually the greenback, the kind of money that we're carrying around in our pockets, is a pretty recent invention. It's something that dates from the Civil War. That's recent in historical terms for a historian. And was not in the case before that. Before that, you had all these kind of very unusual currencies that were floating in circulation issued by these banks. And that's that first realization was kind of the thing that really got me into the idea of working on this topic.
Dr. Mihm talked about his future plans regarding his knowledge on counterfeit money.
It's actually, I'm interested in writing a larger history of money at some point, because the history of money is such a kind of fascinating subject that it's something that I think really needs to be written in an accessible and maybe even entertaining fashion, and it certainly can be. So it's something that I really want to do.
This has been Sean Rainey, Channel 20, News at Rider.
Dr. Mim's book, A Nation of Counterfeiters, Capitalists, Conmen, and the Making of the United States, can be purchased at bookstores everywhere.
As a part of Rider's University's Wellness Week 2008, Amy Worth, a Rider graduate student, gave a presentation on body image, which focused on the strong influence today's media has on society.
On February 26th, Amy opened her 8 o'clock presentation with a method that truly impacted the audience. She introduced her topic with a music video students were already familiar with, Christina Aguilera's Beautiful. Following the showing of 2003's Best Female Pop Vocal Performance, Worth got the attendees involved by asking for their personal reactions to the video. Viewers seemed touched by how the video was incorporated into the lecture. Worth continued by teaching the audience the history of provocative media advertisements and the effects such advertisements have. References were made to Mattel's ever-famous fashion doll Barbie, as well as the sexualized legend Marilyn Monroe. Amy Worth is a graduate student who works as an assistant in the university's counseling center. She is also a fitness instructor at the SRC. Prior to her involvement in student health on campus, she interned with a computer graphics company that alters the photos of Victoria's Secret models to depict perfection. Amy's knowledge on the connection between media and the body influenced her decision to put together such a presentation for the Rider community. She feels that her exposure to college students has communicated to her a need for students to be educated about the serious power media has over individuals and their self-esteem. She notices that on Rider's campus in particular, students compete with one another when it comes to how often one goes to the gym, if at all. Worth sees weight loss as a goal for many, yet a danger for many others. She concluded her session with some beginning tips on how one can help a friend if it is thought that they might have an issue with self-esteem. Worth addressed that it is detrimental for friends of such individuals to take action.
On behalf of the Rider University Counseling Center, we encourage all interested in learning more to contact the office at extension 5157.
Last Wednesday, SEC did its share in celebrating Wellness Week by showing the 2004 Academy Award-winning documentary, Super Size Me. I was in attendance at the showing and had the chance to interview students afterwards for their opinions on the documentary's effects on them. Being away from home has a huge effect on college students, but the most important aspect is the change in our diet. This week, being Wellness Week, helped alter the mindsets of students in choosing the right foods to eat. By doing so, the Student Entertainment Council decided to show the documentary Super Size Me.
This was something that SEC co-sponsored for Health and Wellness Week, and I think it was a good idea to promote some awareness about an ongoing problem. This was the idea of the committee, and it's something that they thought exemplified what they're trying to say.
This Academy Award-nominated film, directed and written by Morgan Spurlock, documents his lifestyle drastic effects of eating only McDonald's foods for 30 days.
Look at that. Look at how big that thing is. Look at how big that French fry is.
After watching this documentary, I was curious if there was any impact on the Rider students who attended this event.
I think this film is very educational. I know for me, it really opened up my eyes. I was completely disgusted. Like, I really don't want to eat at McDonald's or Wendy's anymore. You better be kidding me. But no, it was a real eye-opener. So I'm really glad that I saw it.
Overall, I think it's pretty good. I think that having this week is a good idea. Absolutely. I know now that I'm going to think twice.
During the 30-day period, Morgan gained 25 pounds from consuming an average of 5,000 calories, which is equivalent of 9 Big Macs per day. So the next time you want to supersize your meal, think about it. Is it worth it? This is Garrett Williams, Channel 20, News at Rider. If you're looking to learn more about upcoming SEC events, you can visit the Rider website event calendar located just off the main page.
And finishing up with an international affair of sorts, Nicole Lawrence had a chance to learn about how Rider is attempting to improve itself even further by increasing the number of programs available for students to study abroad.
Studying abroad can be the chance of a lifetime for students. Having the opportunity to travel to another country and be immersed in their culture is something that not all people get to experience. Luckily, here at Rider University, it is relatively easy for students to find out about studying abroad and to set up their very own exchange experience. Recently, there was a study abroad fair in Daly's Dining Hall, and I got the opportunity to talk to the Director of International Programs and a representative from Butler University.
Rider is currently focusing on international, and we're trying to expand study abroad and enrollment of international students and all things international in terms of cultural events. So for study abroad, we have a number of our own exchange programs, which means students from those institutions abroad come here and our students go there. We also have affiliate agreements with several study abroad providers, including Butler, which is here today.
Butler has partnered with universities overseas. We're not in every country, but we are in quite a few. What students would do is they would apply to these universities, take regular subjects with the students at the schools there, and then Butler provides extra support services both before they leave and during the semester that they're abroad. There is a study abroad office here on campus that's based over in, I don't know the name of the building, but it's the one with the bookstore. And so they have an office that students can make appointments throughout the week or even throughout the semester and talk to the study abroad advisors here, as well as they should be consulting their academic advisors in their department. So everything that's in the catalog is on the website, plus probably some other things too, because we have some video footage of some students that have been abroad. We may have some videos of our overseas directors as well. But what you can get is the applications online. The information about the individual universities is there. Students, if they know that they just want to go abroad but they need to study communications, there's a program finder so they can plug in communications, and then up will pop the universities that have that option.
For more information about studying abroad, you can visit Rider's website or Butler's website. This has been Nicole Lawrence for Channel 20 News at Rider.
The Study Abroad office is located in the Bart Ludicky Center, where you can make an appointment to learn more about any of the programs. 2 weekends ago, there were many unfamiliar faces around Rider's campus. Let's go to Steph Chartel to find out why.
Every year, those who have applied to Rider University are notified of the institution's decision by January 15th. The weeks following this anticipated date are filled with extreme thought, preparation, and decision-making, which could change the rest of one's life. Rider University attempts to make this assessment period easier for the students they have accepted by offering admitted student days. Students who have been accepted to Rider, along with their parents and families, are invited by administration to visit campus for a day complete with faculty, food, and fellowship.
This year's first Admitted Students Day was held on Saturday, February 23rd. Despite the extreme winter weather conditions, students and their families flocked to the Lawrenceville campus from all areas in hopes to solidify their dream of their future home. Students had the opportunity to experience academic sessions led by Rider's top professors and to attend informal sittings pertaining to their major. Individuals also had the chance to meet with appropriate department faculty. Those unsure of their future studies attended a session with Dean of Freshmen Ira Mayo, who discussed the essentials of the undecided label. His chat seemed to ease students' worries about being indecisive. Dean Mayo explained that the liberal arts core at Rider will surely progress any student on their way to success. Admitted Students Day is viewed by the faculty and administration of Rider University as a significant day in the lives of prospective students. Due to this strong feeling, weeks of hard work and preparation are devoted to making the day special for students and families.
There's a lot of preparation from not only the logistics of confirming classrooms and food and all of that, but we have each academic major represented, so faculty from all the departments are here, and getting them to come in on a Saturday and coordinating that and making sure we have rooms for them and making sure we have the people to and from, the right sessions is kind of challenging. We have a great team in the admission office. Marianne Kolar leads our charge, and she's our on-campus coordinator of all of our programs. All of the set design and everything is done by Matt Wade and OIT, and it's a team effort. Everyone across campus, faculty, students, staff, help. We couldn't do it by ourselves, that's for sure, but it does take weeks, and it is a rather large program.
Whether it was the first, second, or third visit to campus, the admitted class of 2012 seemed pleased with Rider's campus, dorms, programs, and ultimately its community.
Then when I went to my major part for the sciences, I found out a lot about the major that made me more interested than I was before. And then the food was really good also.
It definitely seems safe and secure, and I can feel comfortable here, and it feels like it can be a second home and somewhere I can stay and enjoy it.
The next Admitted Students Day will be held on Saturday, April 5th, 2008.
On behalf of the Rider University Network, we would like to congratulate all accepted students.
And we're out of time for this week's edition of the News at Rider.
We'll see you back here after spring break. Stay safe and have fun. For the News at Rider, this has been Kelly Dixon
and Garrett Williams.